security at one of the Detroit schools with metal detectors. It actually sounds like it did a fair bit of good having the students go through metal detectors. I mean, she was confiscating knives and stuff all the time.
I think the Detroit schools has a police department.
I don't know.
Under the school.
I don't know about that.
I think they do.
This person was, I don't know. They described it as security.
They probably have both.
Yeah.
Because they can't be everywhere. And it's cheaper to pay.
Are you sure?
$8 an hour for a security guard than $10 for a police officer.
No, I mean, why doesn't Clio Schools get a community resource officer? I assume they don't have one. I guess I don't know. I asked that question without really knowing, but come on.
Silly.
It's childish. I mean, really, that's what it is, right?
That's what they are doing.
It's spite.
Yeah. They know they can't.
Yeah, absolutely. They said, I mean, they almost, explicitly said, we know the judge said we have to comply, so we're going to do everything we can to make it difficult, right? I mean, we're going to comply, but we're going to do all this stupid stuff.
Well, we'll see what happens when the parents are inconvenienced and how they'll go to the school board and maybe get rid of that stupid policy. I know that.
Believe me, they won't.
The school that my daughter went to, she's been out for a few years, but when she was in middle school and stuff, they did that. Well, it was, I want to say that was 10, 12 years ago, and I can't remember what happened. Maybe it was 9/11. I think it was 9/11. Does that make sense? That's 15 years ago.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Anyways, it was some event, and they decided you had to get a pass to come in. You could come in the office, sign up. They verified who you were, and then they gave you a lanyard with a card on it that allowed you to walk around. But all the doors were locked, except for the very front door by the office. But that's gone out the wayside because no, it doesn't work. Same thing with where I used to work downtown Lansing. We had security cards that we swiped our card and got in. And
right.
we're thinking, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anybody can. People were just waiting and tailgating, You just wait with a bunch of group and you just walk in behind 50 people.
Yep.
And, the state kept saying, well, it really does prove to be effective, to have this kind of thing.
Effective for
security, safety.
How do you know?
They never answered that part.
Yeah, I mean, how do you know?
I don't know. You don't know.
I completely understand having access control on businesses. I mean, you have to have security of some sort, depending on what you're doing, right? I mean, for proprietary information, if nothing else. But how do you prove that
you're safer?
A card reader is effective.
Can't.
Because if somebody sneaks in
not only
around the card reader, there's no record of it.
Right.
I mean,
and we would get street people that would come in.
Sure. Just walk in behind people or whatever and and they should be allowed to, but
and every once in a while, I mean, somebody would stop somebody.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can't let you in because you don't have your card.
Yeah, right.
Well, mostly because they look like street people. But if you dressed normally, you could walk in, no problem.
What is a street people, Brian?
A street person is kind of like your Uncle Bill.
Oh.
You know Uncle Bill.
One of the few listeners we have to this show.
Is your Uncle Bill. Oh, damn it. Sorry, Bill. So anyways.
I'm joking.
I know you are. So was I, except for the street people. Now, I don't know what I was going to say about the passes going in and out.
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
Whatever. It is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break though, because we talked about that for way too long.
Do we want to do a trivia question? Of course we do.
Yeah, we do.
This is for all our listener out there. You notice I did singular there, listener.
So I will tell you, Brian. We had a week off last week, and I apologize, but we came back this week, energized, so energized, in fact, that we picked up the phone before the show, you and I, and started reminding people, right, to go home, log in, and listen to the show.
We did a phone campaign?
We did a phone campaign right before the show.
So we called both our listeners.
I don't know if it's effective or not, but, I'm sure I'll find out later when I get the hate mail.
from the same people we
From
called.
yeah, that's what I mean.
I was in the middle of dinner.
All right, what's the question?
All right, this is an easy one. Easy. Who was the first American president to name, I don't know if this is correct term, African American to his cabinet? Who was the first American president to name an African American to his cabinet? We'll have the answer.
Obama?
I didn't say first Muslim. I said first African American.
You know what? And I bet you'll be surprised that it's a Republican.
Who did it?
Yes. It's not. Damn. But I was going, all the conservatives, Brian, that's what they say, though.
I know.
All right, we'll be right back.
My Parents Open Carry, the new international children's book sensation. Bill Maher had this to say.
My Parents Open Carry.
Thanks, Bill. What a great recommendation. Hey, Bill, what makes Brenna's parents different?
Mom and Dad are both safe because they're packing.
And Stephen Colbert, what's the book about?
And it tells the heartwarming story of Brenna.
Nice summary. And Stephen agrees with Bill on what makes Brenna's parents different.
Unlike other parents, Brenna's mom and dad carry loaded weapons openly, which might make her feel different. But her father reassures her that, Brenna, there is evil in this world, and we want to protect you the best we can. When seconds count, the police are minutes away. What a beautiful bedtime story.
And be sure to check out the #1 best-selling children's book in government category at Amazon.com or at myparentsopencarry.com.
At odds.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. But doctors have recently discovered they are unable to reverse or control serious side effects, such as internal bleeding caused by Xarelto. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Call now if you or a loved one was hospitalized from any form of internal bleeding or stroke after taking Xarelto. You may be entitled to a cash award and substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. There is limited time to file a claim, so call now. Call 800-837-9483. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-837-9483. That's 800-837-9483. Again, 800-837-9483.
Hi, this is Jeff Carlisi from the band 38 Special. The mainstream media has failed the American people once again. Internet radio networks like Red State Talk Radio will not fail you. Tune in 24 hours a day. Studios A and B. Great conservative programming around the clock. Red State Talk Radio, the dominant force in Internet conservative talk radio.
The offer of a franchise can only be made through delivery of a franchise disclosure document. Imagine yourself being a leader in America's fastest growing demographic category. More than 10,000 people a day turn 65, and a large percentage are going to need a helping hand at home or in choosing the right assisted living community. Always Best Care is looking for people who've excelled at everything they've done, but they're seeking a new challenge. Always Best Care is one of the fastest growing companies in this explosive field. We're looking for 25 new franchisees to keep our booming business growing. We'll back you up with the strongest award-winning marketing program in the industry, and we'll provide the special training and support that's fueled our growth to prepare you for this great opportunity. All that's missing is you. Call Always Best Care toll-free at 1-800-643-3819. That's 1-800-643-3819. For Always Best Care, 1-800-643-3819. Call today.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 877-595-5381. That's 877-595-5381. Again, 877-595-5381. Call now.
From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys.
To the At Odd Show with Nate and Brian, and may you be in heaven a half an hour before the devil knows you're dead.
And welcome back to the At Odd Show. I am Nate. That's Brian. Head over to atoddshow.com, facebook.com/atoddshow. Check us out, like us, do all those cool things. Brian.
Do it.
The question before the break.
What does this rash look like? Oh, that wasn't it?
That was during the break.
Oh, that was during the break.
And I told you, you should see a doctor.
All right. What if I don't have a doctor? I have a veterinarian.
And Jeremy, I know you're out there listening. I suggest you get tested too.
My Jeremy?
Yeah, that's the one that would make sense.
Ooh.
Okay, the question was the president who first appointed an African American to their cabinet.
His cabinet, yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. That one would make sense.
It would, but it's not him.
Oh. Washington?
About 100 years later.
George Washington?
About 100 years later.
Jimmy Carter?
You have trouble with math, don't you?
It's about 100 years later.
Yeah, he was in the 70s. So think of U.S. civil rights.
It doesn't get any more about 100 years than like 95 years.
So
that is about 100 years.
Over 100 years. So
it was not. No.
So
when was the Civil War?
1861 to 1865.
See?
All right. Maybe 1860.
Yeah, okay, whatever. So who was it? I don't know.
Well, I'm going to give you some more clues.
Rockefeller?
He was from Texas.
Ooh, Bush.
And he said that he was going to get all them N-words voting Democratic.
So it was a Republican.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is a Democrat. And he wasn't elected.
Ooh. Harrison Ford.
And he did not and will not seek a second term.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So he signed the civil rights bill. All right, I'm going to tell you, right? Lyndon Baines Johnson appointed the first
LBJ.
And I would have been nice if I'd looked up who it was, but I have no idea who it was.
Yeah.
He's probably dead by now.
So did you know that radar is actually an acronym?
I did know that.
I learned that the other day.
But I don't know what it stands for.
It stands for Radio Detection and Ranging.
That makes sense.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
And the reason we looked that up, Brian, is because
radar helped us win the Second World War.
It doesn't say that here.
No, but
I guess. We were listening to the ad where Stephen Colbert talked about our book. Thanks, by the way, still.
Yeah.
And it reminded me that NASA had named some piece of space equipment after Stephen Colbert, which is weird. And I didn't quite. I don't know why, and I didn't look into that. But they named some space treadmill after Colbert.
Yeah. And it stands for?
Yeah, that's what I'm
typing up.
I'm typing up right now. It's Combined Operational Load-Bearing External Resistance Treadmill.
That makes perfect sense, too. They didn't reach for that at all.
And now, well, right.
Because
so it's a backronym, right? It's an acronym that the word that makes up the acronym or the combination of letters that make up the acronym, existed as a thing before it was turned into an acronym. So Colbert was the name.
Sure.
They came up